Popcorn and Root Beer travels galaxy far, far away, and we reached out to a podcast far, far away from us for a special guest. We are talking Star Wars: A New Hope. It is our reaction. We are going to let you know whether or not this movie holds up 48 years later on a rewatch right here on Popcorn and Root Beer. Quiet on set. It's time to start.
Grab your popcorn, dim the lights. It's movie time.
All right, welcome. You two go where you're supposed to belong. Welcome, one and all, to another episode of Popcorn and Root Beer, the only place that you can come and witness, well, in this case, two people who have no qualifications whatsoever, give deep, unwanted takes on the best movies. And then we have Alfredo, who's joining us today, who may be a bit more qualified than Jake and I. But my name is Steve. I am your host today, and joining me, these two gentlemen do not need an introduction, but I am paid to do one anyway. So we will start with the mainstay of the program. Jake Parry, what's going on? You're muted.
It's a great start.
It's a great start. I'm just happy to be here. I'm just here so I don't get fined, especially since, unlike Steve, I'm not getting paid. But it's a good time. I'm excited to be here. Excited to have Alfredo on the show as well.
I am super psyched to have Alfredo on the show. He may not need an introduction because you probably have seen him talking movies, TV, and anything entertainment over on Unbinged. But Alfredo Brown has joined us, and if you know him from the fantasy streets, he's also elite there. But Alfredo, tell people about yourself and tell them where else they can find you.
First of all, the introduction is way too kind. Yeah, man, Unbinged has been such a fun passion project for us to work on. We wanted to be able to talk about the things we love, and that has been TV, movies, and everything in between. And it's been great lately. We've been talking about Pluribus, Welcome to Derry, Stranger Things. Looking at our schedule now, we got The Pit coming up, Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We're doing Fallout. We just started. So there's just so many cool things. And after each episode, we go on, we break it down, we have a full-on discussion of the episodes, and it's just kind of like hanging out, talking with your friends after each episode ends, exactly like what you would do to go to the group chat. So it's been a really cool thing to do, and you can always find us wherever you get your podcast: YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and it's Unbinged, or youtube.com/@unbinged.
Make sure you guys subscribe there. Make sure you subscribe as well to IBT so you get more entertainment stuff like this. And Alfredo may be back. Who knows? If you like this, give it a thumbs up. Give us a like, share, tell your friends about us. If you don't like this, give us a like, share, and tell all your friends how terrible they are. And they have to come over and see it for themselves because it's just so unbelievable. I am so excited to break down Star Wars with you guys. And every so often, every time we do this, I get some dark web internet facts for the movie. Now, you guys are Star Wars fans, right? Like, you guys kind of are like, you're all in it. So I may not be breaking too many. Yeah, I may not be breaking news to you guys, but to our viewers who maybe aren't 48 years old or Star Wars fans, maybe a little more casual like myself. I kind of go and I watch, but don't know as much about it. This is kind of interesting to me. And as we hand out awards, please comment along, or if you knew this information or have fun information to share, feel free to drop it in the comments. So George Lucas has the idea for this space opera prior to 1971. He wanted to adapt Flash Gordon, do that into films. And he comes out and says, Star Wars is not a story about the future, but rather a fantasy that has more in common with the Brothers Grimm than Space Odyssey, 2001: A Space Odyssey. He wanted to give young people an honest, wholesome fantasy life, the kind his generation had, which is so sweet, isn't it? Like, he wanted the kiddos to have warm memories or something, and he came up with Star Wars. Don't know if he quite landed that plane, but nonetheless, that's a nice rationale for it, right? He wrote 4 different screenplays for Star Wars, had a preference for casting unknown or relatively unknown actors, which led to Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher. more on that in a second because it was fascinating, some of the people that auditioned for this movie. Jodie Foster was originally offered the role of Leia and could not accept the role because she was under contract with Disney at the time, which is kind of insane to think about. Didn't want to cast Harrison Ford as Han Solo because he had already worked with Lucas on American Graffiti. Therefore, he wasn't an unknown. Here's who he was cast, though. In the end, they cast Harrison Ford over names like James Caan, Chevy Chase, Robert De Niro, Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Englund, Steve Martin, Bill Murray, Jack Nicholson, Nick Nolte, Burt Reynolds, Kurt Russell, Sylvester Stallone, John Travolta, Glyn Turman, Christopher Walken, and Perry King. Al Pacino also turned down the part because he, quote, didn't understand the script.
That's the most Al Pacino sentence I've ever heard in my life. But just now I'm
imagining him. Hooah, Luke, we gotta go.
That's exactly that's all I'm imagining is him like blowing up like the thing, being like, we didn't need that anyway. Boring conversation.
I'm just pissed we didn't get Burt Reynolds as Han Solo because that would have been fun.
That would have been a real fun one. I think that's a great one. And then so Alec Guinness, who plays Obi-Wan Kenobi, this is what he says in a letter to his friends. Guinness describes the film as fairy tale rubbish, but the film's sense of moral good and the studio's doubling of his initial salary appealed to him, and he agreed to take the part of Kenobi on the condition that he didn't have to do any publicity whatsoever for the film.
Respect.
You know what? I guess I love like when the old British actors really like dig their heels in and are like, no, like I will not do that. I don't have time. And they're like, please. He also got 2.25% of the profits of this movie, which made incredibly, man. And that was for the entirety of its run forever. So he was rich his whole life. What are you guys? So you're Star Wars fans. I know this is like a deep question, but what is your like kind of relationship to A New Hope, kind of on the surface before we get into the deep dive? Alfredo, we'll start with you.
I mean, not to make the story too long, but this is just such a formative part of my childhood. I grew up only child, single mother, and I remember it was just times in the summer where my mom had to take me to work, and she needed to work, she needed to do things, go in and do meetings and stuff like that, and so she'd put me in one of the rooms in her office, and there's a VHS player, and she gave me the full box set of the trilogy of Star Wars, and she was like, here you go. It's going to change your life. Enjoy. And I just sat there and I watched it and I fell in love. And so I just kept, can I go back with you to work tomorrow so I can watch Star Wars? Because in my head, like that was the only place I could do it. And so I just kept watching Star Wars every day, all three movies over and over. And then I wanted the toys and I wanted everything else. And it just became a part of me. And then it was
absolutely
like 2-3 years later was when we get the prequels. So it just became such a formative part of my childhood. I love these movies with my whole heart.
That's like a very sweet story. I love that. I didn't quite have that relationship to these movies, but Jake, maybe how did you kind of become a Star Wars fan?
Yeah, pretty similar to Alfredo. My dad was a huge nerd his whole life. Like, grew up playing D&D back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Grew up with these, and like anything that was non super like traditional media was his favorite thing. So I grew up on this. I grew up on Star Trek. I've gotten the entire nerd spectrum of everything that you can get, and it was very similar. Except for us, it was like, all right, now it's the winter. There's not really sports going on. What are we gonna do? And my dad's like, let's watch movies. So I grew up kind of the same thing, watching these movies with family, and getting the family aspect of the story, and growing up around growing up reading comic books and getting all of this media when I was super, super young, it just instantly latched on for me.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Like both of yours, I mean, I love that, right? Like finding that, like Alfredo, where you found it like with your mom and being at work with her, and like just, I love when people connect to movies in such unique ways and all that. I did not come up in a movie family, as strange as that is, considering how much I love
who you are.
Yeah, considering like who I am and what I do and what I dream of doing in this life. I did not come up in a movie family. I kind of had to find these myself. So my first Star Wars that I really remember ever seeing are the prequels. Like the Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith and whatever what is the first one there? Episode 1, Phantom Menace. And so all I remember is Liam Neeson being killed and being devastated in the movie theater. And that's probably the first movie I remember really going to, is like, and I'm feeling that overwhelming sense of like, no, that can't happen. And so that's kind of my relationship with Star Wars ever since, is kind of this like deep aching sense of dread that Qui-Gon Jinn is going to be killed off. So I just am like, don't like any of the characters, don't get attached, don't like, so, cause you know what I mean? Like as a kid, that's what latched in my head, is like, if you like them, they're going to go away.
Yep.
So I just
don't worry, they can't hurt you anymore.
Yeah, like I'm like so I just like detached from Star Wars entirely, which is so sad. But all right, let's start positive though. Outside of my childhood trauma, let's give out an MVP award of this movie, and I'm gonna give you 2 nominations that I want to say, and maybe you guys have other ones. For me, there's 2 that really make this movie, and it's the puppeteers. Everyone who designed the puppets, moved the puppets, made the puppets happen, or James Earl Jones. And that's really where I'm sitting as
Respect.
1A, 1B of the MVPs of this movie. But Jake, do you got different MVP awards to give out?
Yeah, I went with the scene of Luke destroying the Death Star. I mean, it's the pinnacle of the movie. It's what is, I mean, it's been memed to oblivion. It's been on Family Guy. I'm pretty sure South Park did it. Like every show's mimicked it one way or another.
Just give a little respect to the Family Guy Star Wars episodes?
Yes.
I think they're fantastic. I think they're fantastic.
They're an annual rewatch in our house.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And for as much as I quote the original Star Wars movies, my wife and I quote the Family Guy Star Wars movies more.
The couch,
actually.
like with the couch in the garbage scene.
Yeah.
I can't. Like
we're making this harder than it has to be. Like it's just perfection.
It's so good.
I'm gonna go watch that after this.
Yeah, probably same. But yeah, I mean, that is like far and away. That movie isn't that movie without that scene and that whole like build up to it, which I'll reference that again later. But I mean, that's the MVP of the movie.
Okay, Alfredo, who you got? Who you giving out the MVP award to?
I thought of a lot of things. At first, I had thought of the Death Star scene. I had thought of specific characters. I'm gonna go with the music. The music for Star Wars is just. The second you hear it, you know it. People who aren't fans of Star Wars know the Star Wars music.
Right.
Like you just hear that initial trill of the music where the Star Wars logo pops out, and then you've got the words, the crawl going through space. Like everyone knows it. It has survived. It's not just, a theme. It has something that has survived through all the movies. It has become part of every single show, even when they're just doing homages to it, and it's just slightly adjacent to the actual theme. And I don't know about you guys, I live in Florida, so to go to Galaxy's Edge at Hollywood Studios and Disney,
big fan of it.
Hear the music all around, get like engulfed in it. It's just amazing, man. It's like
really
music
is.
for me, John Williams. Yeah, it's the clear MVP of the movie.
Yeah, it is. And I was gonna get to John Williams later and we'll reference him later. But John Williams has a real claim at the MVP of this movie, where he's just like, what a generational run John Williams went on too. Like,
especially when you consider that Lucas didn't want to use original music at all, and John Williams was basically like, "No, you have to. Like, you have to do it this way." And Lucas just being like, "All right, you fucking deal with it then. I don't."
It's unbelievable, but it's also the fact that like he was coming off the year before this Jaws, which is insane. Yeah. Like this man was just on a run, and he never stopped. And it's just you can't find a John Williams soundtrack that you're not like, this is incredible. This man could have a soundtrack for anything. Like, and it's all different. Everything is different. This guy, he was a genius. He's a genius beyond genius.
And they kept going back to him too, because then he does Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he just keeps going with Indiana Jones and so many more. It's just, man.
Well, because he's the franchise guy, right? Because then he did Harry Potter.
Yep.
Gets the Harry Potter movies.
Yep. He did the Home Alone movies.
Did the Home Alone movies, which is so weird. That's such a weird one. That's such a weird thing that John Williams did. Why did they do that? Why did they pull John Williams for that?
I mean, for 40 years, even to this day, it's like, all right, who do you want to do the music for the movie? All right, let's ask John Williams. If he says no, then we have to create the list. But like, he's the first person you think of to do any soundtrack or score for a movie.
There has to be.
Did you guys hear him say that he doesn't even like movie scores? He's not even into that kind of music. It's actually the thing he says that he doesn't really like making those. And I'm like, dude, you're really good at
right.
That's
then
crazy.
What does he like?
You've devoted your whole life to it.
Right.
He just wants to make different music, I guess. Something that's.
I would
that's
love it if he's like, I'm
film.
really into underground gangster rap.
Yeah.
Like that's really all I want to do.
He's making trap music.
just real hard underground gangster rap. All right, that's enough like praising and glazing here. Let's give out an LVP, someone who just botched it the entire way that you're just like, what is this? And I got a real bone to pick with Disney right now, because I watched this on Disney Plus. When did you guys watch this, by the way?
Disney Plus.
Did you watch it on Disney Plus? Yeah. What the fuck was with the forced CGI?
Oh, that's been there. That's been there for a minute.
So again, I don't watch this very often. Like, this is the first time I've sat down and watched A New Hope in a very, very long time.
Yeah, was that when they like remastered it for basically to like update it for modern displays? And
it was
like
awful.
It just didn't work, and they had to add it in.
They've done a bunch of remasterings of this though. Like they did it back in like 1998, then they did it again in like the early 2000s. They just kind of kept digitally remastering, and it was just an excuse for them to keep re-releasing them first on DVD and then on Blu-ray, and then they just kept going. And now on Disney, it's like to the point where they've even just cut parts of scenes entirely. And like if you go back to the original copy of A New Hope, Jabba the Hutt that's there, like it's just a dude. Like it's not this CGI creature that we see. Like,
wait,
it's
really?
Actually, just like if you go back and you search that, it's just like a heavy set dude in a vest, like Jabba the Hutt.
He wasn't a slug.
No, like he was just a guy. It was just a gangster.
Yeah, he basically like imagine like a short, thick boy that was dressed like Hagrid. Like that's kind of what the OG looked like.
Like, I hated the CGI that they added. I'm like, wow, everything looks so much better around that CGI. Like, it's as if the special effects got flipped.
That's just unfortunately what digital remastering has done to Star Wars.
Yeah. I have another LVP, but I'm going to hold off for a second just because I want to hear, Alfredo, what you like as a huge fan. And I don't want you to I don't want to hurt your childhood where I make you talk bad about some things. But, that's the point of the show is people need to know.
I'm not going to lie. And this has changed over the years. This might be a hot take. I don't know. Maybe once I say it, you guys are like, yeah, I kind of agree. Luke kind of sucks in the movie. Like
he does.
He's just kind of ass throughout the whole movie. Like you get introduced to him. He's a little boring. And then he's whiny. And then honestly, the movie does not start in my eyes until they get to the cantina and you meet Han Solo.
Yeah.
And then it immediately just elevates the film. And then you meet Princess Leia and you're like, oh, okay. Wow. Now that we're hanging around with 4 people, a Wookiee and some droids, I think I like Luke the least. And that includes C-3PO, right? Like Luke just kind of stinks in this. I'm just going to be honest.
You are very correct.
Luke absolutely stinks in this. All right. So I was going to wait till Jake went, but I'm just going to piggyback on your point because I have this written down. So let me walk you through this scene, right? You're Luke Skywalker. You had to do your little mental gymnastics. You're like, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Maybe she means Ben Kenobi. How many other Kenobis? Is that a common last name? Is that like Smith in the Star Wars film? There's not other Kenobis running around. I wonder if that's who she means. Well, these weird droids landed on your planet and are like, we're going over to see this guy. And he's like, I wonder if that's who he's talking. So he goes, sees Obi-Wan Kenobi, gets handed a lightsaber, immediately looks down the barrel of it, which I'm like, this man has zero survival skills whatsoever. Then he's like, oh my God, they could go back home. Goes back to his house, finds his aunt and uncle charred, right? Burned to death. And his reaction is the flat, doesn't give 2 fucks at all. He's like, I'm on to bigger and better things. He's like, thank God I don't have to do that harvest this year. I'm off. See you later.
Should have let me go to the Tashi station for my power converters, man. You deserve this.
What the fuck was that? What is that? They seemed like good parents to him.
Yeah, man. Yeah. The Luke stuff, and he's supposed to be 19 in this movie. He is a very, very immature, whiny 19-year-old for this movie. Not that 19-year-olds are all that grown up, but holy shit, was this bad?
But you know what 19-year-olds do is they act grown up. They try to act grown up. They try to
he
grown up.
Yeah, he
doesn't.
He's
the opposite direction.
He's still acting 12.
He's like, I got one. When he shoots one of the TIE fighters and he's like, I got one. I'd be like, oh my God, we're gonna eject this kid into space because this is not great. So that really threw me off when like his aunt and uncle burned to death in their home. He does not care. He is like, I don't have to do the harvest this year. Fantastic. I'm off on my new adventure with my new friends. So Luke seems like a little fake ass bitch to me. I don't trust him. Jake, who's your LVP of the movie?
Yeah, I just went kind of basic in general here. Just 1970s line delivery. The line delivery of almost every character throughout the entire movie. Like it made me appreciate modern cinema more, even bad modern cinema, just because the line delivery is so much better.
Easy though. There's some these days that I'm like, ooh, who?
Yeah, there's some that are atrocious, but those you could drop into this movie and you'd be like, damn, they might be the best actor in the film.
To all our viewers, just please comment because I need to know what's like the worst like acted movie you've seen recently in theaters. Because like I'll boo in theaters openly. I've like booed dialogue, like just blatantly. I've been like, boo. Like I hate that. Like I don't know. Like every now and then someone reads it and you kind of just like, wow, nice read, Velma. Like they'll be like, Captain Lammers. Like, and it's like, what on earth was that? Where'd that come from? The line delivery is a little rough. Yeah. Oh, hi, Mark. But like sometimes you run into like The Room, but it's like $200 million. Like Madam Web. That entire movie was a series of line deliveries that were like The Room. I'm like, did they all stand on a different soundstage and record this?
That was bad. Morbius was bad.
Jared Leto, don't even get me started. I don't know Jared Leto from a hole in the wall. I think I'd fight him if I could. Like, I just don't like him. I genuinely dislike method actors in general. He seems the worst of the bunch. Daniel Day-Lewis could catch these hands sometimes too, though. I don't like him either. Like... And he's old, so I feel like I got a chance with him. Jared Leto feels a little crazy. I feel like he'd bite me or something. So he freaks me out a little bit. But yeah, that's definitely like some of these are just rough, but the line delivery is pretty brutal in some instances. I do have to give some love though. We're gonna give the portal scene award the best scene in the movie. I have it as Vader arrives, kills the unarmed guards, but Alfredo, what do you got for?
I mean, best scene award, it's got to be the trench run, right? And if like we're gonna pick a specific scene, it's Han showing up. So like that is the original portal scene. Like that's the original on your left.
Can I ask
Han Solo?
Can I ask you who shot first? Because I know they've retconned it.
Can I be real with you?
Yeah.
Even as a Star Wars fan, I don't give a single shit. Either way is cool. Because
I think it's cooler if Han was like
Han shoots first. That's why the other guy misses.
First, if Han, so there's ways that you can look at this, right? If Han shoots first, then he's just a badass gnarly dude, right?
Yeah.
But if Han doesn't shoot first, one, it kind of adds to him like actually being the good guy that he ends up becoming. And two, it makes it even kind of cooler because you sort of just see him like quickly just like jerk his head to one direction and the laser misses him. So like there's either way, Han Solo's a cool motherfucker, whether he shot first or second. Like it's never been one of those things, even as a Star Wars fan, I'm just like, I gotta be honest, I don't care. I don't care if it's a shot first or shot second there.
But it's a big debate amongst the Star Wars community, right? Like there's like a lot of talk about it.
In the original episode 4, Han shoots first. When it was remastered for the 1997 special edition, George Lucas digitally altered it to have Greedo shoot first.
Why? Why?
There actually is a video here that I could watch the entire minute and 5 seconds of, but I'm not going to do that and just say it's George Lucas. I trust him.
So from what I believe, like when I've read this before, it's the whole thing is that they didn't want Han to inherently just be a murderer, like a guy that's going around killing people. That it's more of like, even though it's the split second, it's that split second where he's actually defending himself. Where if he doesn't shoot, then he's going to die. So it's like he didn't initiate it. He's not like because they didn't want you to have to go and root for a guy that's a murderer. They can call him a scoundrel and all these other things, but if he's a murderer, it's a little harder for them to sell. So I think that's why they went and did that.
He's a smuggler, right? Like he's already a criminal. I don't think I needed like I don't mind that he's not like the best guy. I bought into that like right off the rip.
But there's levels. Like you could be a smuggler, a drug dealer. You can do a lot of illegal stuff.
It's not like he
like killing people.
Well, it's not like he walked up to like some old lady crossing the street and was like, "Give me your purse," and then like big like Uncle Bender. Like it was a guy who was like obviously going to kill him anyway. He was a bounty hunter.
Yeah, but it's like he shot him to get out of his debt.
Well, this guy shows up at a bar, which is rude. First off, you don't just corner someone at a bar like that. That's rude. And then it's like, Jabba wants your head, or he wants the money, or you can give me the money and I'll just forget that I saw you. Like, things were going sideways with that weird green thing anyway. Greedo, yeah.
Like, do you find that people are often nice at bars? Like, is that... I
don't
come across
know.
that behavior.
I go to gay bars if I go to bars, and we're all like so friendly. You know what I mean? Everyone just wants to dance.
Sure.
Okay. Like we just want to dance. Like, Jake, did you give a Portal Scene award?
Yeah, I went with the Trench Run. I just stuck with that one, kind of from the original MVP of the movie. It's the best scene in the film.
We're gonna get more into this in Hot Take Hall of Fame in a little bit, because I have thoughts on like just why the trench run is so important to this movie. And it's not. I don't want to be uncomplimentary of this movie. I liked this movie. There's things that like really baffle my mind. But before we get there, the Defying Gravity Award for the scene that demands full volume every single time. Alfredo, kick us off.
It's the moment on Tatooine where the twin suns are coming up. And Luke is just pondering his life and his next move, and he's staring off into the distance, and boom, the music just crescendos. The music itself actually just gets louder and takes over the whole scene. That's where I'm just like, I'm in. We have fully been introduced. I mean, not that we don't hear the Star Wars music at the beginning, but we have fully been introduced to John Williams and the Star Wars themes at that moment. And you really... I think anyone who's ever, this is going to sound so corny, but anyone who has ever had a dream or wanted to do something, you immediately relate to Luke Skywalker as a character, even if you don't like him in that moment. It's that brief moment with the music where he becomes relatable.
Yeah, I loved that scene. The music in this movie moves you so much that it makes up for any faults that the movie has almost. Like, you just wind up feeling so connected to this film because of John Williams, and that's the magic of a good movie score, right? Like, that's why you want to pay someone like John Williams so much money to do that. For me, it is that intro, that first blast. Like, if I'm sitting in a theater to watch this, I want Dolby Cinema. I want that at full volume, right? I want that to come in and just knock me back into my seat and put me there. Let the scroll come. And I just watch it. It's why I picked it as like our intro, right? So like when we did our intro, it like cuts to it. It's just so iconic. It's beyond iconic. The Imperial March, also incredible. Anytime Vader walks on the scene and you get the man, dan, 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 dan. Fantastic. I'm all in on all of that. Jake, where are you cranking it? No, that's not what I meant to say.
Yeah, I was going to say
volume.
This pod got weird real quick.
Yeah, I'm going with the cantina scene. I mean, that's like the music in the cantina. That's what I'm here for. That's
Jake's Spotify Wrapped is just the cantina scene over and over again, just the top 5.
Play that same song. Amazing.
All right, same song. Just like that. I love it. Oh my god. If I played the clarinet, I would learn it. But I don't.
You know what that music is called, right?
No.
Jake?
No.
Oh.
I hold on. I do. It's not coming to me. I'm having a lot of technical issues.
It's really great that you said it's not coming to you, because it's called Jizz.
Is it really?
It's George Lucas's version of jazz, and it's called Jizz swing music.
That's what he named it.
Yep.
So that means that the word jizz became jizz after Star Wars.
I don't know. I have not done the research.
There's no fucking way he named it that, thinking that that's what. Like, there's no way.
I mean,
this is a really gross award that we've handed out here, because I asked where Jake cranks it, and then we're finding out that it's called Jizz. And like, what is happening on this show? Alfredo, you've turned my lovely family podcast into an absolute X-rated smut fest.
I'm sorry.
Family podcast is a bold descriptor for us. We're the only non-family friendly show on the network. We are the only
non-family friendly show on IBT. We're moving on from the Cantina and Defying Gravity Award, because we just have to now. Matthew McConaughey and Dazed and Confused Award for the vibes only performance. Jake, Who got this award for you?
It's Chewbacca. Chewbacca is there to set the vibes. He's there for he's the guy where at any point, if I need somebody to fight with me, Chewie's right there. If I say, go turn on the damn ship, he's going to go turn on the damn ship. If I say, hey, I don't want to get shot right now, can I use you as a shield? He'd be like, and be blocking shots for me. Like that's the boy. So Chewbacca wins.
Yeah, Chewie's down for anything in this movie. Yeah. I think like he's and you know what he is ready to do is he's ready to fight. Like he doesn't need a remaster. Let me see who shot first. Chewie's like, I shot first. Like let's be so clear. Like I'm not dying on this stupid ship. Like we're getting off of this, and I will kill as many henchmen as I have to get there. Like he is shoot to kill. I love it. Alfredo, who gave the vibes only performance award for you?
So I wasn't quite sure what this meant by the vibes only performance. I probably should have asked. I got a couple options. Can I get a brief explainer?
So in Dazed and Confused, you know how McConaughey, he's not even really acting so much as he is just, he's there, right? And he's just giving the vibes. He's there. He seems like he's having a good time. And it's just, that's what it is, man. Like he's just vibing the entire time.
I guess then I'm going to interpret this as someone who just went off their own vibes in this film. And I'm just going to, Alec Guinness just does not give a single fuck throughout this movie. And
I am going to reference that later, but I'm glad you brought it up now.
Great pick.
He's just there. Like he's late in his career. He knows that his job is to show up for basically the first 45 minutes, only give exposition every time he is on camera of like, who he is, what's going on in the planet of Tatooine, what the Force is, what the Cantina and Mos Eisley is. Like every fucking thing he says is simply exposition.
Yep.
And then he just gets into what, I mean, I don't want to say is the worst lightsaber battle in all of Star Wars. Yeah. And like you can tell there was no training for that. There was no choreography for that. It was, let's just swing these sticks around a little bit. Yeah. And let's just see what happens. And then out of nowhere, he just looks over to Luke. He's like, all right, I'm going to die now. And
right. Like he's like, oh, that's enough of that. Like that's what he did.
It's everything. It's everything from his performance to the character to, of course I know him. He's me. Like everything for him was just like, fuck it. It was basically that I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yes,
that's exactly what it was.
That's exactly what it was. Because, like, honest to God, like, I'll spoil it now. He has my my Thackery Binx award because I'm just like Alec Guinness phoned it in the hardest of maybe anyone I've ever seen in a movie. Where he's like, "You are so right." He is just there, like, I gotta check whatever. Like, and why does he die? Why does he do that? What is that a call? He's like, if you strike me down, I will come back more powerful than you can possibly imagine, and just never does. What did he do?
Well, hold on. Now I'm gonna put my nerd hat on because he does become more. So okay, well, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this.
We're gonna do this. You have the floor.
He becomes part of the living force, and like that's also something that ends up being like talked about later, where you see at the end of episode 6, where it's Yoda, it's Obi-Wan, it's Anakin Skywalker, all there as Force ghosts. Spoiler alert, by the way. And then, like,
yes.
And if you actually, I mean, for the Star Wars nerds, like the really nerdy people, if you went and watched the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, he's actually getting taught like how he can become part of the living force once he dies and how to communicate with Qui-Gon Jinn. So like, and I won't give the spoilers there, but he has all this in his mind. Now, at the time, I don't know if they had all that, but eventually they did. And that's what he means by I will become more powerful.
So I have to look at this because this is my job, is I have to look at this objectively as this is the first one. Bullshit that George Lucas had any of that planned. That was the most empty threat I've ever seen in, like, I will come back more powerful than you could possibly imagine. And all he does is go, Luke, use the Force. And like, is that it? Is that what would have happened? I feel like you could have done that on the ship. Like, you didn't have to die to relay that message. You could have just given it.
At minimum, you're probably thinking of it as like, even if you didn't have the whole living force thing planned out, at minimum, like the theory is probably if he dies there, then it's giving, the Jedis more power, like more desire to defeat them.
Isn't there like 2 left? in this movie?
Well,
Aren't they supposed to be like extinct?
the whole thing too between getting real nerdy again, the whole thing too between the Jedi and the Sith as well is the Sith are so scared of death because for them there is no continued life. Like there's a lot of like religious stuff to this as well, and Christianity to it with the Jedi, where they believe that they continue to have sort of an everlasting life into the beyond, and they become these Force ghosts, and they can become part of the Force. That's why it's almost like a Christian saying, if you kill me, I'm going to go to heaven, and everything's going to be even better for me, and I'm going to be Luke's guardian angel. That's more along the lines of what he's saying. Not that I'm physically going to come back stronger and more powerful than ever. It's I mean, it was a hell of a swing by them to really just get a Luke.
Yeah.
Clear your mind. Like there wasn't a lot, but from what I do understand, Lucas did have multiple, at least the first 2 movies written out, and the understanding of the original 3 or the prequels that would come before that.
Alfredo, if you and I are ever on a like death-defying mission where we have to go invade some sort of
Don't
spaceship,
worry, I'll let you die.
No. If you opt and you stare me down as I'm like dodging bullets, and you stare me down and you just go, and like let yourself die and bail on the whole mission, I'm gonna be so pissed. Your ghost better hope to God I don't get to go to little ghost plane, because I'll haunt your ghost. Like I would be so beyond mad. It wouldn't even be funny.
Your ghost is just going to be doing whatever it can to drag Alfredo back into purgatory. Just
drag it. Like I'd be like, you'll never know peace, because I will constantly be haunting you like forever. So that's where I would be with that. I feel like Obi-Wan really left them in the lurch. I'd be mad. All right, just one Oscar. Who gets it? I think we're all in agreement. It's John Williams at this point.
Oh,
I went with George Lucas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, and
I just talked so glowingly about John Williams, I assumed incorrectly.
I honestly didn't even cross my mind. I immediately thought actor, so like I didn't even put George Lucas or John Williams.
Well, who gets it for you?
Well, since I thought actor, like honestly, if I were to redo this, like I could think set design and so many other.
I had
like,
3 options.
Effects.
I had 3 options. I gave SFX, John Williams, or set design, which is so funny. Like those are the 3 I picked.
Yeah, you know, and I'll leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at set design and special effects, because they're the person who I put. I'm going to talk about them plenty later.
Okay. And you went with George Lucas?
Yep. I mean, you don't, and this is probably thinking of this too big picture, where it's like, this is the creation of, you know, now going on 50 plus years of media stemmed from this concept. Like that deserves some recognition.
Okay. I see. I don't know.
Mine's more of like a lifetime achievement award.
Yeah, I feel like you're giving him like a real, like, you did something great. I don't know if he would have won an Oscar at the time. I don't think he did. So there's issues that I think would have knocked him out, but a lifetime achievement award I can get behind. I'll go with John Williams. I'll recognize the GOAT. All right. Here's a dumb category. Is this movie better with Robert Duvall, Joe Pesci, Adam Sandler, Viola Davis, or Jim Carrey? Feel free to chime in whoever wants this one.
You know what? I went with Viola Davis. I think that she would make a fantastic Grand Moff Tarkin in this role.
Yeah,
sort of
cool.
Just like she basically just gets to be Amanda Waller and just be like the second in command behind Vader there on the Death Star. She would be perfect.
Is Vader second in command on that? Because like, doesn't
Vader's
he kind of
like second in command? Yeah.
Yep.
Vader is second in command, because the guy's like, stop it, like when he's like choking, which that's so fucking real. Like,
so Vader's second in command to the Emperor.
Yep.
Oh, so why is that guy bossing him around?
It's kind of like, I guess like he doesn't really boss him around, but like Vader's also just a really angry dude.
Yeah.
And he's also, it's sort of like when the boss hires someone to be like a wrangler for their star employee almost.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like the Emperor is the devil on Darth Vader's shoulder, and that guy's kind of like the angel, like stopping him from going too far.
I think it was
Even though
so
he blew
fucking
up a
real.
planet.
I think it was so fucking real of Vader to choke his coworker that aggravated him. I think we've all been in a situation where we're like, I wish. Like,
we all relate to Darth Vader so much more than we want to admit.
Darth Vader got a fucking raw deal, dude. Like, that dude got, like, even as the prequels go on, I'm like, this dude got fucking shafted. Like, and not for nothing.
He did it to himself.
You know what? We're going to get into this deeper later, so I'm not even going to bring it up. but I understand Darth Vader in ways that I don't even know how to get into. So, all right. So Viola Davis as Grand Moff Tidian, or whatever his name is. I have it written down. I can't remember it. Grand Moff, whatever. Tarkin. Titty bang, whatever. I have Jim Carrey as C-3PO.
We went very similar. I went Adam Sandler as C-3PO. I thought
I
it
would
be
just love to hear
hilarious.
C-3PO be like, "Alrighty then," like, and just like really sell it. Because I think C-3PO is a whiny little bitch as well in this movie. Him and Luke Skywalker really had a little bitch fit for like 2 hours in this movie.
C-3PO is like, Wicked showed people what the Tin Man actually was historically. Like, C-3PO is what children's media wants you to think the Tin Man was.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I like that. So who you went with?
I went with
Sandler.
Adam Sandler as C-3PO.
Okay, that's fair. All right, I need to know, how did this get made? A decision in the movie that you're like, who on earth okayed that? How did that get okayed? I got mine. How on earth? Like, who the fuck said it was okay for Luke Skywalker not to appear in this movie until 17 minutes and 5 seconds into it? I timed it. Like, that's a long time for your main character not to show up. I thought this was a movie about C-3PO and R2-D2. Like, that's a long fucking time for them to occupy.
That was movies back then, though. Like, you didn't always get the main character until later in the film. Like, that was very common in like that, like from like the 60s to like early to mid 80s. Like, that was super common in media for whatever reason.
I mean, maybe like to not see them in the first scene, maybe 2. 17 minutes without your main character. And not only are the people that we're with not the main characters, they're not even the secondary characters. They're side characters. They're C-3PO and R2-D2, and we spend 17 minutes with them exclusively, following them. Like, that's a long time.
Yeah, I had actually put that in, what was the category? Oh, the 15 minutes of lame.
Yep.
That's I had put that as like, just cut those 15 minutes.
Same.
You could totally start it from like, they leave the Death Star on the escape pod, and then you can just cut to like
make him crash closer to him. Like,
yeah. Like, that's, you don't even have to do the whole Jawa thing. Like, they just happen to crash by Luke's uncle, and he's like, "Dope, we got droids. That's it." And then just like the next scene is like, "Here we go."
Like, they had to get bought and moved and all this. Like, what was happening?
George Lucas, man. He's all about world building, and like that's, I'll give him his credit. Like, he sucks at writing dialogue, and he's not even particularly a very entertaining writer. But damn it, man, can he build a world? Like, when he makes rules and characters and planets and just the settings of it all, like, he can do it. And
I like the names.
Sometimes he'll do it to a fault.
I do like the names. Jake, did you have a different choice?
Yeah, and this is more just like me being petty. It's when they find the Jawa. I'm blanking on every term. Like, the Jawa ship destroyed, and they're like, "Only the Imperial could have done this. They're known for their accuracy," is essentially what they say. When you through the rest of the entirety of this series, it's been memed to oblivion and how inaccurate everybody on that side is in everything they do. Just like, how do you like? Why would you write that line and then make them so hilariously bad at everything for the remainder of the series?
I pointed something out. So me and my boyfriend are watching this, right? And I'm watching the movie and I'm like, there's something, every time they got into a gunfight, I was like, something's weird about this scene. Something's weird about this scene. And I couldn't figure. And then I realized those laser beams were coming from every single possible direction on the screen. They were coming from left, right, up, down. And I'm like, where are these people firing from? Like, because it is coming from impossible angles at them. Like, the special effects clearly didn't have like the effects capable, so they were just like throwing whatever they could at the screen to make chaos. But it was so funny to me. And you're right, they are the most inaccurate people. Like, no, the amount of times that the main characters end up in a shootout and then don't get hit ever. Not one of them got hit the entire movie. They didn't take one to the leg, didn't get grazed, nothing. They just airmailed it.
When they're in gunfights, when you're in a gunfight in an open hallway and there's like 6 dudes on each side of the hallway and somehow nobody gets hit, that doesn't happen. Period.
I could shoot a musket more accurately than I think these people. And I've never fired a gun really like in my life. But like these people are awful. Like they're all bad at their jobs. And another choice. You know what? I'm just gonna get into it now because I really have some questions about this. Was there another person who ever looked at this script, like a real second set of eyes on this script at any point? Because what is the plot?
To be fair, I mean, like you're talking about a guy in George Lucas who was extremely successful up to this point, and like one movie studio was willing to make this movie. So like clearly plenty of people looked at it and were like, what's going on here?
Think he didn't have a plot.
Back to Alfredo's point, he had built the world. And so in his mind, it made sense that you needed this
plot.
To build
it's
the
just
world.
The plot really was 15 minutes, right? It's like Death Star needs to blow up. We need to blow up Death Star. But a lot of stuff happens that doesn't have anything to do with one another, I feel like. Or just it builds the world. Yeah. But I feel like the plot is really kind of paper thin.
But I think we can do that with anything, right? Like if we want to reduce Lord of the Rings to like, hey, short guys got to throw this in a volcano, we can do that. Yeah. And we don't need 9 hours of film for that.
That's true.
Like, so it's like, yeah, the Death Star was just kind of like the first step to it. Like what I said before, is George Lucas is not a great writer, but a really good world builder.
Yeah, great world builder.
I just don't know that we had much of that in film at the time, which was why this resonated so loudly with like teens and young adults at the time when they went there. It was the special effects and like being immersed in a world that really only happened in books, right?
Yep.
And like you finally got that on a big screen.
Yeah.
No, for us nerds, it was like, oh my God, D&D in space. This is awesome.
That was kind of my critique of it is I'm like, plot isn't what like.
You're not alone in that. A similar sentiment of mine will come up later.
Okay. How about the Tom Cruise and Collateral award for an actor who reinvents themselves in film, like just totally disappears into their character? Jake, who you got?
So I looked at this in like a different way. I don't think they necessarily reinvented themselves for the film. I think the film kind of reinvented how we view them. And I went with Harrison Ford because like, I don't think he has the career that he has without this film.
And it's so funny because, man, has he been vocal about like he wanted Han killed off in Empire, which is or Return of the Jedi. He wanted him, right? That's the third one.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi is the third one. So it's on record that Harrison Ford pushed very hard for Han Solo to be killed off in Return of the Jedi. And then when The Force Awakens came out, he was basically like, I'll do it, but got to kill off Han Solo or I'm not coming back. And I'm like, that's so interesting that he was so like vehement about like, got to kill Han Solo and then did like 18 Indiana Jones movies.
I get it. Like with Han Solo, like the character has a very specific place in the world. And to him, he probably felt like he had played out his usefulness for the storyline in a way. Whereas like Indiana Jones, it's like it's based around the character of Indiana Jones and like the legacy that he's creating and leaving behind. Whereas like Han Solo, like very much was like a gun for hire, a pilot for hire who by happenstance ends up sticking around and becoming an integral part of everything.
I love Han Solo. These movies don't do anything for me without him because like when he's like, everything's fine here. It's all good. How are you?
How are you?
Like it's so perfect. I love it. I went with Peter Cushing as Grand Moff Tarkin. I thought he disappeared into that character very well. I thought, he's kind of a character actor in his career. That's what he does. He embodied it very well. Alfredo, who you giving a little love to for their disappearance?
So I wasn't quite sure how to do this one of like reinventing because like a bunch of these actors were relative unknowns at the time. So
this is a tough one.
We didn't know what they could do to like disappear or reinvent. So I put two in here. And it's kind of similar to what you said, Jake, as an actor who just became known for that later on. Mm-hmm. It's James Earl Jones. That voice became the voice for kind of everything after that. Like if you just heard his voice, like, oh, that's Darth Vader. I was like, oh, now it was Mufasa, right? Like all you were just hearing that voice.
Yep.
The other one, because like to go more into like look, right? The Leia hairstyle was everywhere. at that time.
Oh my God,
and
right?
it even just ended up being something later too, down into like the Return of the Jedi films, where it was like that became every teenager's fantasy is Leia in the gold bikini in Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
Like that just became a thing. So like these characters, I wouldn't necessarily, I don't think that Carrie Fisher really changed too much of her personality. Like she just kind of got to be this like really fun, like gruff, badass chick in the movie, but getting lost inside this idea of having to be the princess and like, you know, having the hair and the outfit and all that. Like I saw a little bit of that.
I like that. I think Carrie Fisher has always been, you know, sad rip, but like was always great. Fantastic actress overall. Thackery Binx, let's recast that role award. This is given, Alfredo, if you're not aware, we named it this because Thackery Binx, I don't know if you're a Hocus Pocus fan, the person who plays human Thackery Binx does not voice Thackery Binx, the cat, because they thought his voice isn't good enough for that role.
They recorded everything. And then they were
Disney
like,
did that
nope.
a lot, man. Disney did that a lot, where they would have
But
a
they
different
kept
voice for the
him.
singer and the different voice for everything else. Like it's
But
just
they
crazy.
kept him as human. Human Thackery Binx is very British, and like, like all of a sudden, this other Thackery Binx who sounds nothing like him as a cat, and then his ghost comes back, his Force ghost or whatever, and there he is. Do you think Thackery Binx was a Jedi? Is that why he was able to come back and go find his sister? Like,
is Hocus Pocus canon to?
Is Hocus Pocus canon to Star Wars? Like, Winifred seemed awful Sithy. She had lightning fingers.
One can only hope. They're Disney properties now, so I mean, they can do it. They can do it.
There's the crossover we really want. Fuck Doomsday. No, I'm just kidding. I want Doomsday very much.
I'm very excited for Doomsday.
I'm very excited for Doomsday. All right, recast that role, Alfredo.
It was. I mean, you said it earlier. Get Alec Guinness the fuck out of here, man. Let's recast Obi-Wan Kenobi. I love the story of what they originally wanted to do. They wanted to get this really famous Japanese actor for the role of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the actor turned it. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name, but he turned it down because he felt that the role of Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Jedi was sort of making a mockery of samurai culture.
Yep.
And so he didn't do it. And I'm just like, man, had we gotten anyone that just even gave us a whiff of samurai culture, that would have been so cool. And that, like, that's also, Steve, you talked about like the prequel movies that you love. One of the things that everybody loves about that is the way that they fight with their lightsabers, and that like all goes back to like similar culture. So I thought that would have been really cool to actually go with the original actor.
Well, I think Lucas really admired like Kurosawa, right? Like the Japanese filmmaker and all his movies. And like, that's why he reached out to that actor, and they were like, no. And that really is unfortunate. The only like, even the way, and Ewan McGregor has like co-opted this at this point, but like when they first meet Obi-Wan and he like pulls the hood and he's like, hello there. Like, that's not how you introduce yourself in a movie, but like Ewan McGregor has made it work and has made it iconic. But at the time, I'm like, this man really, that was who I was like, I we need to recast this.
Same.
Like,
it's a sweep on that one.
It's so bad. I'm like, brother, like, you don't have to love what you're doing, right? Like, it's fine to not like the movie you're in. I think it's fine when actors, I actually really love when actors come out after the fact and like, you know what, that just wasn't it. Like, fine. Give it the old college try though while you're there. I mean, you might as well. Like, you're in the fucking arena. Like, throw a pass. Like, try a flea flicker. Do something.
Harrison Ford did say he admired his preparation, professionalism, and kindness towards other actors, at least.
Well,
but
the way he acted in this movie, he must have been looking, going, you poor fuckers. Like, you'll never have a career because this is such shit. Like, it's so bad. Like, how wrong. And what's really unfortunate is he had a really important role. Like, he's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, what happened? Like, you know, if he nails that, if he really sticks that landing, he probably gets an Oscar nod.
Yeah, probably.
This movie was a phenomenon. Like, they could have gotten a lot out of that, but he phones it in so hard. I think he dragged down this movie.
He really does. He really like. To be honest, the first, I want to say, like 30 minutes of the movie, between the droids walking through Tatooine, Luke being a whiny bitch, and then Obi-Wan having to just be the expo dump, it's not great. But then when you get the whole crew on the Death Star running around and doing like the shenanigans, it's fantastic. And then the final 15 minutes, the battle with the Death Star and the dogfight, could be one of the best 15 minutes in a movie ever.
It was fantastic.
It's just fantastic.
And you're right, to go back to your point earlier, the fact that he very clearly was like, I'm not learning choreography for this fucking lightsaber battle. Like, I'm just going to do this. And that was the extent of it. Infuriating. So sorry, Alec Guinness, you're booted. And we'll get to who we would cast later on. Let's do the La La Land Dream Sequence Visual Spectacle Award for the scene that creates a stunning, imaginative, and visual world, because one thing I love is good cinematography. So I have 4 nominations I would like you guys to consider, and then I will listen to your guys' as well, and you can tell the viewers what you loved. I have the opening credits, puts you right in it. Blowing up Alderaan. The first time we see the Death Star from outside, where he's like, that's a moon. And he's like, that's not a moon, it's a ship. And it's like, oh, shit. Like, this thing is massive. And then the trench fight is like an incredible scene. And I feel like that's kind of the low-hanging fruit.
That was my pick. And then I was like, I've referenced this scene so many times that I also went to the introduction of the Death Star as my choice here. Again, when you think of the basis of this award, like creating the world, like knowing that, like you've seen on your screen, you have no concept of size, right? Like just generally, but that's a moon. No, it's not. That's a ship. Like that. Putting
for people that frequently bounce planet to planet, for them to be like, look, the moon, that's a weird moon. Like that's not something that they would just get wrong, right? Like unless this thing was truly bizarro big.
Yep. Yeah. So that for me, like that in my mind fit the narrative of the award a little bit more.
Alfredo, can you help me out here? Do you feel like Leia reacted enough to her entire planet being blown up right in front of her face?
No, but at the same time, I feel like she's seen some shit. Yeah. Like, I don't.
But this seeing some shit and this seeing your entire planet incinerated in a second. Like, that. She's like, oh. Like, these people don't like anyone. I'm starting to think this was a bunch of sociopaths that had to go do something. Because, like, Luke didn't care that his aunt and uncle got torched. Leia watched her entire planet blow up, barely blinked.
Well,
like, Leia had
to be fair, she was doing a lot of coke at that time. Yeah. So she probably couldn't feel much of anything.
Like Leia had a job to do at least, right? She's like, I have other shit to deal with.
The actors talked about this where it's like they actually got to a point where they had to do so many reshoots of things, and like they had to go try it like with different actors, different times, and George kept rewriting stuff, and George kept complaining about things, and they were so immature that after a certain point, like they were just kind of like, this movie's probably not even going to hit theaters, so let's just kind of get through it.
So all right, that's explaining a lot then. Like a lot of that explains a lot of choices.
And then it ended up being sort of like this happy accident where they're like, oh shit, it actually looked good and everyone really liked it. We're gonna do this till we're 90, you know?
Because they don't repeat this bad acting really in any of the other installments.
It's like such a step up in the next movie. They're playing strange. For real.
Yeah, like it's so strange because like they all go on to be like elite actors.
Yeah,
like just top down
the fuck in for the next
movie. Like no one would ever be like Mark Hamill's a bad actor, but if you only had A New Hope to go off of, you'd be like, that guy can't act his way out of a paper bag. Like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. So, all right. So, are we all going with the trench, though? Is that kind of where we're at, besides the Death Star?
You know, I had another one. I wouldn't say it is the most visually stunning, but I felt like it was the imaginative part of it, where it really encapsulated everything in Star Wars. It's the cantina scene. We get a little bit of creatures playing music. You get to see every single different type of creature in there, and then just regular people. You get Obi-Wan actually using the lightsaber to cut someone's arm off. You get introduced to Han Solo. You get a blaster. You get Chewbacca. And then you get introduced to the Millennium Falcon. Like, there's so many things that happen all within this one setting. To me, that it really encapsulated everything that Star Wars was in that one scene.
It's a great pick.
That's a great pick. That's a fantastic pick. All right. This really could have been an award that we handed out earlier, but the Horny by Accident Award, which was basically our McConaughey section.
I've got a really hot take for this one.
All right, go ahead.
The way Han Solo talks to Jabba the Hutt when he's like trying to be like talk himself out of getting killed, and what
he's
he owes him,
smooth talking.
he's so
schmoozing.
seductive.
Yeah,
he is like. I think
It
he
worked.
might have been trying to fuck Jabba the Hutt. I'm just saying.
I mean, if I was Jabba the Hutt, I'd be like, all right, like that's a deal that can be arranged.
There's
Sure.
some people that just can't turn it off though.
Yeah.
Listen,
Have you ever seen that? Where it's like someone tells you like, oh, you're flirting with them. No, that's just how I talk. I think that's just how he talks. Like he's flirting with everyone. Vader, Jabba, Obi-Wan, like he doesn't give a fuck.
Guy on the other side of the radio. I mean, he's checking in on him, seeing how he's doing.
Right. He's like, how are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's fantastic. Yeah. For me, I went with Luke sees Leia as a little hologram, and he's like, "Oh, she's pretty," and I'm like, "What the fuck is that? That's your first reaction to like what's happening?" She's like, "Help me! You're my only hope." And he's like, "She's so pretty." It's like she's begging for help. Like this is not a time for that.
Like, could you imagine if it's just an unattractive woman? He's like, that sucks.
We got other things we can do.
Back to the harvest.
Yeah, back to the field.
End of movie.
Like, I don't understand. So, like, I just don't. So this is why I question whether or not Lucas really had a plan, because like they wind up being brother and sister down the road, and like they kiss at one point, and I'm just like, what is happening here? Because like, I just don't think that's the right. Like, I would be very concerned if I was Obi-Wan and the Force was telling me like this is our only hope. It's this dude who like sees this projection of this woman being like, the world's ending, I need help, and he's like, she's pretty. I'd be like, fuck, we got a fucking idiot.
That like, was kind of the point. Is like the point of Luke Skywalker was like, you're every man, you're just basic guy on this planet. Obi-Wan being like, this guy's yeah, he is our only hope. Shit. All right, better figure out how to make him not terrible.
No wonder he killed himself. Like that's what happened. Is he lost hope. He's like, fuck, this kid's dumb as a bag of bricks. Like just dumb as a stump. Alfredo, what was your horny by accident scene or moment?
I'm surprised you guys didn't use this one. It's the kiss. It's the Luke and Leia kiss.
Yeah,
I think that's horny on purpose, though.
That just felt on purpose. That it's like, oh, yes.
But how is it not the horny on accident when we eventually find out that they're brother and sister?
That's true. Like in context,
it's upsetting at best.
Honestly, like I get what George wanted to do for the story, but holy shit, man! Like if I already had them kiss in the last movie, that's got to be the moment in the writer's room where I'm like, guys, we can't make them brother and sister. Like, we just can't. We can maybe make it that their parents were friends or something, and she could also be a Force user, but damn.
This would also be a great nomination for the How Did This Get Made choice.
Yeah.
That also would have been a good one. Do you feel like that's a studio note? That the studio was like, got to be a romance somewhere. Hero's got to get with a girl.
I think, I mean, you could, I don't even know. Can you tell that they're trying to make it happen with Han and Leia?
No,
I can.
I don't think they were at the time, because why did she kiss Luke then? Like I don't think they were trying to.
I think it was quite literally like the little brother thing where like I could feel it between Han and Leia.
Yes.
With her and Luke, I think it was more of just
two people in. They almost like were trauma bonded.
Can I give my theory on how this went? I feel like the idea initially was Luke and Leia, but Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford had such good chemistry.
This is also true.
Yes.
Like in those scenes, right, where she's like,
couldn't hide
"You're
it.
an idiot. You're a jerk." Blah blah blah, and he's like, "Whatever, lady." And then all of a sudden they went, "Oh wait a minute, we're gonna make Luke and Leia brother and sister. Let's pivot her to Han, because they're locked in. Like that is the
could be part of it.
That makes sense. That's what I would, if I had a bet. That's what I would say.
I'm gonna say no though, because I'm pretty sure Han Solo is trying to fuck Jabba the Hutt.
Han Solo seems like he's out fucking whatever's in the universe at that point. Like, and
he saw the exhaust port and the Death Star and was like, "Fellas, how many beers?"
We're about to get to like, is this the apex of their careers?
No,
is this like as hot? Has Harrison Ford ever been hotter?
Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
Glasses or no glasses?
Do we mean like sexy
physically
hot, right?
Yeah, sexy.
Yeah.
Like,
it's Indiana Jones, man.
Yeah,
it's open shirt, chest hair, using a whip, got a cool fucking hat. Yeah.
Yeah, they got the BDSM side built in. Yeah.
All right.
And his slutty little glasses too. Yeah, all of it.
And his slutty little glasses. He was Jonathan Bailey before he walked so Jonathan Bailey could run.
Facts.
Like, Love it. All right. Alfredo, if you understood this category, I give you all the props in the world
Because none of us did.
they never seem, no one seems to understand when I put it out there. So I tried my best. The LeBron James Decision Award for if this movie, this moment in time, is any of the cast or crew's apex of having control over their careers. Is this the absolute pinnacle of their stardom? We'll start out with Mark Hamill.
So you're asking if this is the pinnacle of his stardom?
Yes. Is this where he said, I have the most control over my career right now?
Probably. Yeah, I gotta say with Mark Hamill, because after Star Wars, nothing else really happened.
Right.
But I mean, after New Hope.
Yeah, New Hope was the biggest thing in the world. It was the this was the Avatar of that time. I'm not a fan of those movies, but like at the time, like this was the big deal that everyone was going to the theater for. And if you're the main protagonist, yeah.
I agree that these were like massive movies. For me, I kind of have it after Return of the Jedi. I feel like after Return of the Jedi is where he probably had the most juice.
But he didn't get any work. Like
I know, which is so strange.
Like he just voiced the Joker in the animated Batman series like 10 years later.
It's so funny. Like sometimes that happens with franchises though, right?
Yeah. I feel like this is the correct answer because I feel like the follow-up movies got him too typecast after that, where it's like he didn't want to be Luke Skywalker anymore, but everybody wanted him to be a version of Luke Skywalker in the movies. So I would say this is his point simply because he, like Alfredo said, like he just didn't do anything for years, like anything notable anyway, forever. And I think so much of that was people couldn't get him out of being Luke Skywalker. And I think if he had like died off, if they'd killed off the character for whatever reason, after this one, he would have had a very different film career.
Interesting. How about Carrie Fisher? I have that as Empire because of the bikini scene.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, that's Jedi. But yeah, I think I would say
yes.
She became an icon there. She
became like a sex symbol, right? And
Absolutely.
in a fair or unfair, sometimes when you become a sex symbol, male, female, doesn't matter. You're a sex symbol. You are just red hot. Like
the poster was on every teenage boy's wall at the time. Yeah.
Yep.
Lot of VHS tapes got returned, paused at that scene. We'll put it that way.
Harrison Ford, was this his LeBron decision?
No.
Peak time?
No.
When do you have it, Jake?
Indiana Jones.
I also have it at Raiders. Alfredo?
Yeah. So it's interesting. Like I was understanding this as like from here on out, does he have the most success, right? Because like this is the movie that does sort of get him there, where it
gets him going as a movie star.
Like it's episode 4. So I would say it's probably Empire that gets him there. The next movie. That gets him there, because then that's 1980. Then he does Raiders in 81, Blade Runner in 82, and he is just now at that point the quintessential sci-fi or fantasy adventure action star.
I have it as Raiders because I think he gets Blade Runner essentially because Raiders does so well, right? He shows I can carry a movie on my own.
Yep.
Like I'm no longer second fiddle to Luke Skywalker. I am Indiana Jones.
Yep.
Hello, I'm the main character. And then he gets Blade Runner. And there's an argument to be made that Blade Runner is actually when he has the most juice, because he goes like Empire, Raiders, Blade Runner, bang, 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 massive. And it's just like, holy fuck, strap a rocket.
It just never
guy, he will not
there.
miss.
Yeah.
And then that's probably where he was like, I can make any project I want and no one will tell me no. So I would say it's either
he doesn't do much for like 7-8 years, and then he shows up again doing just like a lot of action films over and over and over.
Yeah, so strange. Like
I feel like he got bored.
One, Jack Ryan.
Yeah,
that was
he was at home
times though, too.
bathing in millions.
That's what people wanted.
Yeah. It gets a little trickier from here. James Earl Jones. I have I will say I did a lot of research on the next two. I have him as Great White Hope in 1970. Earned him an Oscar nomination. He had gotten a Tony the year before on Broadway, so he was really at the peak of being like, I am a dramatic, fantastic actor. You cannot do better than me right now.
Like
but where do you guys have him? Because I think there's an argument to be made that there's a movie that comes out 20-ish years after A New Hope that probably could have been his peak.
Yeah, I also said no. I again followed you there. After Great White Hope, after that film, he's the second African American male performer ever nominated for an Academy Award to be Best Actor. Like that, once you've hit that pinnacle, like the world is your oyster. He kind of he worked his ass off from there.
Fascinating career, James Earl Jones. Where do you have it, Alfredo?
Yeah, I was gonna say essentially the same thing for James Earl Jones, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill. For as big as their star gets here, this is also where their star burns bright and sort of like, at least for the other two, burns fast and burns out a little bit. Whereas like James Earl Jones, all these guys are, at least Hamill, Fisher, James Earl Jones, like it was so hard for them to break out of these roles. Like they were the Harry Potter trio essentially, where it's like no matter how many roles you do, Rupert Grint, like you're gonna be part of the trio, man. Like
you're Ron Weasley.
So it's just like
brutal.
every time Carrie Fisher was there, she was Leia. Every time James Earl Jones voiced something, you're like, oh, it's Darth Vader. The only time where you maybe forgot about it for a second was when he was Mufasa.
Yep.
Right. And
so there's two people, right? Like there's two walks of life. There's either you hear James Earl Jones and you hear Vader,
right,
or you hear James Earl Jones and you hear Mufasa.
It's the quintessential conversation we had on Take Two of like, who's your Batman? Like,
right.
Which James Earl Jones is your James Earl Jones?
Yeah. Is it Mufasa or is it? And it's so funny because I think in terms of his career is fascinating because he seems like the type of guy looking at his career. I think he preferred theater. He seems like he genuinely enjoyed to be on stage more so than he seemed to do movies. He didn't pursue being a movie star. It doesn't seem like he was frequently on stage, frequently in some sort of play. Even until he got much older, he did like Fences, he did things like that. Just really powerful kind of performances. And then Alec Guinness, is this his peak? I would say probably not.
No.
You have to go so far back with him though. I went with Bridge Over River Kwai.
When a studio to get you to do a movie has to double your salary and give you a portion of proceeds forever. Like you're already at your,
and then you show up and you do that. Like whatever he did, he had so much fucking juice. It's ridiculous. Like he knew he could walk on there and he could basically just fart on camera and know that they weren't going to fire him.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a Bridge Over River Kwai at 1957, won best actor at the Oscars. All right, I have some ones that you guys didn't get to see, but I just want to like see what you think. Is this the peak of sci-fi movies? Is this their LeBron James moment?
Ooh.
No, I'm gonna go with Jedi.
I'll say no.
You can go with Jedi?
Yeah.
All right. Alfredo, do you have a different spot?
I'm gonna say it's Empire. That is the peak.
Okay.
Because that's when everyone was talking about the biggest twist in movie history at that point.
Definitely, that had to have been the biggest twist.
The father.
That had to have been the biggest twist, at least until The Sixth Sense, right? Like until like for 25 years, that was the biggest twist ever. I have sci-fi's peak as Alien because that's when it pivoted that sci-fi could be quite scary and it gave a new life to the sci-fi genre overall, which I thought was interesting. Franchise starters, franchise movie starters, like movies that kicked off a franchise.
I think they kind of have to default be like, I struggle to think of a true franchise prior.
But is it the hottest it's ever been? Because I would say Iron Man is the pinnacle of franchise starters. When you think of what film started a film franchise, I think most people now would think Iron Man kicked off the MCU.
Yeah, I would say if you keep it just as franchises, where like Star Wars, like this kicked off the entire Star Wars cinematic universe. Like with Iron Man, it's like I'm thinking of it like Iron Man, Iron Man 2. Like I'm not thinking of like the entire cinematic universe that goes with it. Like if you expanded that question to be cinematic universes, I would agree with Iron Man being kind of the hottest, just because everything we got in the MCU after.
Okay, what about Wookiees? Is this peak for Wookiees?
It's not peak for Wookiees. That comes later in the prequel series when we actually get to Kashyyyk, And I wish so. You know that in episode 6, Return of the Jedi, instead of the Ewoks on Endor, that was supposed to take place on Kashyyyk with a bunch of Wookiees, and it would have been so much more
way
badass.
cooler.
Yep.
Way cooler.
It should have been.
Oh, that's a bummer. All right, and then last one for this: daddy issues in movies.
No.
No.
It's I'm Your Father, right? Like that has to be the peak of daddy issues in movies.
Daddy issues in movies has been peak since like the 1930s.
But this one, like, think of it, right? Like, you fight and he reveals he's your dad, and then he cuts off your hand and throws you into a cavern. I just feel like that's pretty peak. That or like Old Boy.
Yeah, fuck that, Old Boy.
yeah.
I'm so scarred from that movie. That's the biggest daddy issues movie of all time.
Yep.
Thank you for reminding me of that. Now I have to.
Oh, I love that movie.
Thanks.
I actually just rewatched that not that long ago.
You watched it by choice?
Oh yeah, it's so good.
I love to hate watch movies. I love hate watch.
And I watched the OG one. Like I have to watch it with subtitles and everything. It's so good. It's
Jag
amazing.
and Joey Wright told me, they're like, yeah, you should go check it out. It's a really cool movie. I hate them forever for that.
Wasn't it so good though? Like it was such a good twist. Like that fucks that movie.
It was
fucks.
good until the twist.
Yeah.
That movie fucks so hard. I love it.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
Not wrong about that.
I love it. Yeah, no pun intended. All right, the John M. Chu Award for a movie. If a movie is long-winded,
let's just combine. I mean, Alfredo and I have already given our answers here. Let's combine this and the 15 minutes of lame award.
Yeah, sure.
We don't need the first 15 minutes of the movie. Period.
Yeah.
So that alone makes it long-winded.
That's easy, and then we can skip the 15 minutes of lame because I also had R2 and 3PO and land on Tatooine, and it takes for fucking ever because George Lucas was world building, but he world built with like one character that could not speak and could only beep at you, and the other one could barely do anything other than cry.
I will say though, R2's my goat.
Oh, I love R2. He was my McConaughey award winner. I didn't even get to give it out because I forgot to give mine. R2 was my McConaughey vibes only performance.
Me and my brothers like have this thing we like to do when we drink. And we'll just be at the bar and we'll just be like, hey, R2, you having fun? And the other one just goes, woo!
Yeah, that's fair.
My wife can do that, but she can only do it once.
Yeah.
She can do it once.
She can do it once because then like after that, she's like, all right, I have a headache. My throat's done. Like it's game over. She's got one.
So what? She just keeps it in her back pocket and she's like, just wait.
Yeah,
like it's coming. I love that. That's crazy. Okay, hot take Hall of Fame. Alfredo, you said you had one, and I'm like really excited.
Vader's kind of a bitch in this movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay,
He's got subordinates that are he's got subordinates that are like talking to him like you like in your phony religion like haven't helped you find the stolen data tapes, and then you got Tarkin, like you said, like you were confused as to whether he was Tarkin was Vader's boss or not, and then he's got Leia like just straight to his face disrespecting him. He's kind of a bitch in this movie, except for like when we see him later, like when we saw him in Rogue One. If we're going canonically, like just about an hour ago, he slaughtered like 50 dudes. And then now here he's letting people talk to him this way? No.
So maybe he's just a really patient boss. Like, I mean, I know he choked out one of his like.
I think that gave your answer there. I never thought of it that way, but that's a very
if someone
good
talked
point.
to me, if someone talked to me at work like that, I feel like there's a chance that we have to put hands on him.
Yeah,
like,
but if he just slaughtered 50 people, right, and then he's letting him talk to, and he just chokes him, like, nah. A real bad would have just snapped his neck because with like, the Force he can just snap a neck.
And there's got to be precedent too. Like that guy doesn't do that randomly out of nowhere. He's been working on the Death Star for a little bit. It means that Vader's kind of a punk ass when he's on the Death Star.
And not for nothing, but isn't Vader like kind of considered like the king of like the Jedi at this point? Like he is like the ultimate Jedi, like that has fallen to become a Sith Lord. Like the Emperor is also a Sith Lord. Like they were both Jedi.
Son.
Like they know that Jedi are real. Like this isn't like, oh, maybe the Force is real. Like he just looked him dead in the face and was like, you and your bitch ass religion are nothing. Like, and just like, then Vader had to put hands on. I wouldn't have done that if I had seen what Vader did in that hallway. I feel like this is not someone I want to fuck around with. And Leia, Vader underneath that mask was like, oh, you little fucker. Like you get that from me. I can tell. Like that's me coming through right there. Like that's my DNA if I've ever seen it. I just feel like
it's a good take. I never thought about it that way, but it's very, very.
He is a little bit of because he's like, Vader, release him. He's like, as you wish. As you wish. I would have been like, you know, you're getting one too. Like, I got 2 hands. Like, I don't need 2 to choke both of you. I only need 1 to choke you out.
I mean, at the end, too, in the trench, like, he's getting outmaneuvered by his son, who has quite literally never flown this type of aircraft before. And Anakin Skywalker is supposed to be the best pilot in the galaxy. And he gets sauced up by his son. Like, it's wild.
So this is my hot take Hall of Fame, is that Luke Skywalker has the most plot armor of any character maybe ever in movie history, because he shows up somewhere he's never supposed to be, has no preparation for it. He is a farmer. This would literally be like if on Earth you took a farmer who, like, just say he farmed corn his whole life, 19-year-old corn farmer from Nebraska, right? Because Tatooine is essentially the Nebraska of the galaxy, and said, you are now the, like, SEAL Team 6 leader. Like, you are going to go do SEAL Team 6 shit.
I'm going to say it's even worse than that, because, like, I've grown up and I live in farm country in a lot of ways still. Like, they've at least been shooting guns and stuff their entire life. Like, you drop them into SEAL Team 6, like, yes, they're clearly not in the right, like, they're clearly out of their depths in what the SEAL team can do versus what they can do, but they at least have a basis. Luke is like taking a preschooler and just being like, hey, you got to go kill Osama bin Laden. Like, sorry.
Dude, when you put it like that, the rebels are so completely out of their depth. Like, it's nothing like how we see in Andor, where, like, they are a legit operation. You get to this movie and they're like, thank God this 19-year-old kid who's never flown one of these before is here, because he's going to lead this mission and be the one that saves us.
I also think Luke's a little bit of a sociopath, because it's like, who could hit that hole? I'm like, all right, so this military has zero faith in their own mission, because they're like, who could hit that? And he's like, I can, because I torpedo swamp rats or something like that on a daily. You do that enough that you're confident enough for this mission? How many things are you killing? You're a weirdo.
Family Guy calls him out for that.
Yeah, that's a
like,
weird thing to say.
You psychopath, you kill animals for fun?
Yeah. And then he, like, pulls the guy and says, like, you kind of sandbagged me back there. He's like, what, sandbagged? He's like, yeah, you sandbagged me. Like, that's a weird thing to say. I don't like that. Yeah. I don't like what Luke Skywalker's bringing to the table. I think he's got bad vibes.
That's fair. My hot take Hall of Fame is very multi-layered in a lot of ways, but it's kind of going what you were talking about earlier, Steve, where it's like, what is the story here? And I think the decision to, and again, it wasn't a decision that was essentially made because we went back and then we got the prequels and things made a lot more sense as to why they were the way they were. But, like, looking at everything all encompassing, the decision to start the movies here might be one of the worst film decisions of all time, in a sense of a storytelling perspective. If we had the prequels, then a lot of the shit that we watch in this, where we go, that doesn't make any sense. Like, we're missing so much context, which, again, this is, you know, you had to go back and recognize that this was, you know, the prequels maybe weren't planned, whatever you want to say about George Lucas, but, like, the way that he went about this amazing universe that he's built was pretty ass.
Yeah. All right. Let's run the legacy test real quick. Is this movie still relevant today and necessary today? Absolutely. 100% needs to exist. There's nothing I can say otherwise. All right, guys, I do this rapid fire questions every show, every rewatch, and I give you guys zero preparation time, and you just have to answer off the cuff. Yes. So, what is the life lesson of this movie?
If you believe you can achieve.
Fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. Like, I think that's and don't do the farming shit. Don't be a farmer. Don't worry about your aunt and uncle.
Or be a farmer, because it can prepare you to to destroy an entire
save the universe.
Yeah.
Jared Leto Memorial Overcommitment Award for the actor doing way too much in a movie that didn't ask for it.
Oh my God.
I personally think, like, Chewie was really sending it. Like, that guy really was. He was giving it his all the entire time. And Mark Hamill, when he gets sucked under the water by, like, the worm thing, that also was, like, he was really, like, thrashing around. Like, he was kind of going all in on that.
Yeah, I think it's Hamill. I think he was going full send on this, because this was just him getting the lead role.
I agree. Yep. Is this movie for the girlies, the gays, or the straights? This is a straight person movie.
This is for the straights.
This is 100% of straights. Yeah.
This is a straights movie. Is this a good movie to lose your virginity to?
No.
You know,
Alfredo's like, funny story about that.
I'm going to stick with my contact. I'd rather lose my virginity. Alfredo, I make a joke when he brings this up every time that you got to just do it the right way, which is Family Guy on in the background. Would rather lose it to the Family Guy episodes than the actual movie itself.
I think I would need something on in the background that I already know how it goes. If not, I might get distracted during my first time.
Well,
plus, if she's willing to do it with Star Wars on, like
might be, that might just be marriage. Right,
that was my litmus test for my wife. Like we came back we met in college. We came back to my dorm, and I put on, I think it was Anchorman, and she was in, like she was down with the movie, and I was like, okay,
this can work.
This might be.
Oh, all right. I didn't know where you were going with that. I was like, oh, we're about to learn something
did
really
not lose my
about...
virginity right there. No,
I was like, we're about to learn something really interesting from
about
Alfredo and his wife about whether I thought it was like whether or not she could have sex with Star Wars. I was like, that's a really fascinating way to judge your wife. What's a prop you'd want from this movie? You get one.
Like a real lightsaber, if it could be.
Yeah.
I think that has to be the answer.
It can't be real, so you get the handle.
Oh, that's not as cool.
Do you want Han's blaster? I can offer you Han's blaster. I can offer you Vader's helmet.
Fun fact: there is a firearms company who makes a 22 caliber version of Han Solo's blaster. Okay. So you actually can own it, and it can shoot something.
Would you want R2-D2?
I was about to say I would want R2.
R2's cool. Yeah,
like he's technically a prop.
Yeah, if we're gonna say that, it's either it's the lightsaber, it's Vader's helmet, or it's R2-D2 for me.
Okay,
those three.
TIE Fighter's got to be in there for me too.
You can't fit a TIE Fighter in your house.
It can be a guest house.
If we're talking ships, it's the Falcon, right? Yeah. Like that's my RV.
Where the fuck are you gonna park that thing? You see how big it is?
Wherever you want. Wherever you want.
Alfredo's like, I've bought this former Home Depot parking lot, and that's where I park my Millennium Falcon. That's an insane.
Rules don't apply to me at that point.
That's an insane answer, but okay. Are you realistically a Sith or a Jedi? If you get to the point where you're powerful enough, you got to make that choice.
I'm a Jedi. I've had this conversation before. Like I'm too much of the Optimus.
I have to go back to my Pottermore results, and I got Gryffindor, and I feel like I have to be a Jedi then.
I'm not a Jedi. I'm a Sith. They just got the cooler powers, and they got the cooler lightsaber color. They'd be like, we shoot lightning out of our fingers. I'd be like, deal. That's absolutely where I'm at. Like, it's not hard to get me there. I'm like, listen, I can just sit here and like, I mean, who's that guy that Christopher Lee played in Clone Wars?
Count Dooku.
Count Dooku. He was chilling. He seemed like he had a good old time. So I'm down with that. Would adding Steven Tyler make this a better movie?
No.
Okay.
This one I have to go no. It was fun imagining him in Wicked. I can't imagine him here.
Just one F-bomb. Where does it go?
Wow. Oh man. I wish I knew this one was coming. I would have really combed through the transcript of this.
You never know what's gonna come up in these rapid fire questions.
Except for this one and there's a few one. Yeah.
They repeat, but like
that,
when you're
a guest, in the streets,
being a guest on this show is tough. Like it's a tough one.
Maybe it's help me Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only fucking hope.
I feel like I feel like it's when Alderaan blows up. She's like, fuck. Like that's probably where that comes. You're dropping an F-bomb that you just be like, fuck.
No, it's C-3PO. When it's like, don't you call me a mindless philosopher, you overweight glob of fucking grease.
Yes.
That'd be a good one. Or can I offer Vader when he chokes his thing? He'd be like, what the fuck did you say to me? And just like force chokes that guy. Like that.
Han Solo, I've got a bad fucking feeling about this.
There it is.
That's a great one too.
And that's the line that comes back in every single movie. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna kind of speed run these recasts. So Jake, you're just gonna go top to bottom we did Luke, Leia, Han, Obi-Wan, and C-3PO's voice actor. Go ahead.
All right, for Luke, I went Sebastian Stan. Feels like a cheat code. Sebastian Stan looks shockingly like Mark Hamill did in 1974. Leia, I went Natalia Dyer of Stranger Things fame for most people. Han, I was between Jesse Plemons and Jeremy Allen White for very different reasons.
Either of them handsome enough to be Han Solo?
No. Anyways,
Next question.
Obi-Wan,
Okay.
I went with Liam Neeson.
He's like, I will not elaborate. I'm just gonna move on.
No, they're not. I was kind of going for that gruff look, but like nobody gives it in the way that like nobody gives Harrison Ford in 1974 like Harrison Ford in 1974. Like it's a downgrade no matter what you do.
Okay, go ahead.
Obi-Wan, I went with Liam Neeson, and then for C-3PO's voice actor, I said Colin Firth.
I like Colin Firth. That's a cool one.
I almost went Colin Firth as well.
All right, I'll go next because we can let Alfredo round us out with that. For Luke, I went with Kit Connor from Heartstopper. For Leia, I went with Kaylee Spaney from Alien Romulus. For Han, I went with Josh O'Connor from Challengers and Wake Up Dead Man. I think he's super, he's really
That'd be a good one.
Obi-Wan, I went with Andrew Scott. I love everything he's in, and I love everything he does. And for C-3PO, I went with Max Greenfield, who is Schmidt from New Girl, and I think that would have
been amazing.
Amazing.
Oh,
that's a great
that's
pick.
So good. Just C-3PO mispronouncing everything.
Everything.
Just a little bit. Oh, that's perfect, man. God,
imagine listening to him yell at R2 like the way he did with Winston, just constantly, that over inflection, just fantastic.
C-3PO just going, youths.
Yeah, youths.
Youths.
Just amazing. So those are my recasts. Alfredo.
All right, I tried to make this as real to the original as I could, but I wanted to go, can we just talk about how there is not a single person of color in the entire galaxy, apparently?
Until Mace Windu.
Yeah, right? It's just absolutely nuts, which is why I was like, Viola Davis got to be in this movie. But when I did my recast here, Luke, I went with Jolo Maridueña, which he was a Blue Beetle and he was in Cobra Kai.
Love him.
It's about the same age as they were, because Luke's supposed to be 19. He's 24 years old. For Leia, I went with Chase Infinity from One Battle After Another. And these two look like they could be brother and sister. For Han, I got stuck between two here. Aaron Taylor Johnson, who
so dummy hot.
I went with Aaron Taylor Johnson or Patrick Schwarzenegger, who I loved in White Lotus. And I think
a good pick.
Aaron Taylor Johnson's almost too smooth as Han. Like, you kind of need the guy who can be a little clunky of we're fine.
Patrick Schwarzenegger could also play Luke because he's super down with the incest. He's there for it. He's just
he could.
We've already seen him do it once, so he's there.
Obi-Wan, I just wrote 3 actors. I don't care. Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Daniel Craig. Or go with the original route they wanted to go with and have an Asian actor in there. And I went with Hiroyuki Sanada, who's from Shogun and Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would just be a really cool.
Love him.
You look at Alec Guinness and you're like, that guy was a Jedi Knight. Like, he led the army in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
It's like Fat Thor in Endgame.
Yeah.
You're like,
impressed.
You did what?
Yeah, no, that's just not it. No fucking way.
Last one on here, C-3PO voice actor. I went with Martin Freeman from The Hobbit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I like that.
I feel like we all just like, who's a British guy that can do this? And just went with that.
Yeah, there you go. I feel like I went way off the reservation with Max Greenfield, but I stand by it. I think he'd be a great C-3PO. Now I need it to happen. All right, gentlemen. Final rating for this movie out of 10. I gave it a 6.
Damn. I've spent this whole time being like, this is my least favorite of the movies. It's an 8.3.
Oh, wow. I'm way low. I'm a notoriously hard grader.
You are.
I'm a notoriously hard grader. Alfredo?
I'm going to surprise you both. So the movie for me is a 7, but there are things that add to it. The music being as big as it is and as important as it is makes it an 8. And the cultural impact of what this had on the zeitgeist and film and everything to come after it in the sci-fi genre makes it a 9. Like, the movie itself may not be the best film, but what it represented and what it did for media, holy shit. If this isn't a 9 or 10 just because of its importance, man, like, I had to give it a high score.
Very valid.
That is very fair. That is incredibly fair. All right, my friends, we've reached the sad part of the show where it's time for us to say goodbye to the good people. Alfredo, thank you so much for coming on and being a part of this. You were amazing, as we knew you would be. I've seen Unbinged. I know how good you are at this stuff. It's not a coincidence that we reached out to you. We will have to have you on again if you are so willing.
For sure.
Please remind the people where they can find you and what they can support you on.
Yeah, if you love, everything pop culture, TV, movies, you can always find me on Threads at Alfredo A. Brown. That's where I'm doing all that kind of stuff. And then over on Twitter is where I'm doing most of the fantasy football stuff. But you can always find me on Threads for the TV and movie stuff. And then Unbinged, wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. We're getting multiple shows out a week, so make sure you're subscribed there.
Fantastic. Jake, where can the people find you?
Yep. If you guys like golf and betting on golf, you can find me and my content on that side of things with In Between Media, as well as over at Fantasy Alarm, where I'm also doing fantasy football injury articles, and anything else is pretty much all In Between Media, or on Twitter at Parry_FF.
Yes, and please, please, please subscribe to the channel if you're new, or like and share if you aren't new. Thank you all so much. You can find me over on TikTok. I am the gay movie guy, and you will find me right here doing popcorn and root beer every week, except for next week, where we are taking the Christmas break to ourselves and to be with our loved ones. But for myself, for Jake Parry and Alfredo Brown, that's a wrap. See you later.